back at you for another one. God is good. God is great. Much love. Good evening. See the restream coming in from Facebook. Terry, much love over there. John Boy, quick on the draw. Much love. Thank you. Nick, Steely, Legendary coming through. Who we got here? Dave, much love as well, man. Salutes to all the pure bloods. Thank you for being a part of the underground. Hopkinson in the house. D. White, Steve, Susan, the boys. Good to see everybody. Kenny G, E. Fitz, Sonny, Silver Sailor, Gnostic. I want to thank all you guys for sharing the stream. Alexis, everybody out there, wherever I can reach, man. I never know with all the censorship, who I'm going to reach. Of course, no notification, as we see in the chat. Thank you for the feedback. Gabriel Concealed, Paula, Jailbroke. It's not anything new, but just so everyone knows, a real truth right here, like you're probably not going to get notifications on. A small bubble will, but like most people don't. You have to just know the routine and want to come back for more. It's that simple. I don't get the luxury of getting a notification after the 500,000 people subscribe to me. Let me tell you, I'm buried. And I have so many that show up all the time, like, oh man, I haven't seen you in a decade, man. When I hear a decade or more, it like blows me away. When I'm out here swinging every day, always have been, never stopped. It's just how good they hide you. Out of sight, out of mind is where they put it. So I thank you again for sharing. You get it in front of eyes that I can't reach. That's for sure. Hope you guys had a good 4th of July weekend again. Maybe past couple days, whatnot. Just hope everything's been good. Been kind of crazy weather. I was just getting pounded by rain. It was loud. And it quit. Thankfully, here for the show. Let me throw open one of them windows there. All right, yeah. So everything's good. Sounding good, I guess. 5x5s across the board. We're live on 5 different platforms tonight. And I'm doing it that way. If anything happens over here on YouTube with the stream, someone's looking for it later and it's missing, you can find it over on X, Rumble, Facebook, stuff like that. Crown Jewels in the house. And much love, Skeevy. I bet you did get a notification. You're very active and regular, and they make sure that those people get it. But I myself am subscribed through a backup email, and it's empty over there. I can't tell you the last time. It's been so long. My wife is the same. She's subscribed separately, never gets a notification. If there's any notifications, it's usually next day. And even with Rumble, I'll get an email. It's been here as of late. I'll get one after the stream is done from Twitch, and then like the next day, maybe from Rumble. It's like hit or miss even there. So that's just the way that it is, man. Anyone thinks they're going to step out here into the big leagues of truth and take it on and not suffer any repercussions, you got a small window out the gate when you're first on the scene to like strike out. Not strike out isn't a bad thing, but like strike out out into the world and like do your thing and like leave your mark. And because as soon as they notice you on that tip, they're after you and they shut everything down. This is why Joe Schmo Blow over on X that you've never heard of can have 250,000 followers over there, and they're just posting every day for money. have no heart in anything. Most of it's copy and pasted, stolen, ripping people like me off, like I see every single day. But yet we're over there on that platform, swinging for the fences, um, just anywhere we can, trying to get the truth out, man. That's what you got to do, man. So again, thank you. Gonna say good evening to Lowrider here, real quick. Just seeing you out there. Much love, my brother. The email's dabu7 at yahoo.com. If you got anything to get to me, and I do appreciate all any coffees, PayPal's, super chats, prayers, and shares. Gonna get this thing going here and just get running with it here with and got some different angles, different things we're gonna cover here tonight. I got to give a shout out to Jay from the Ville. Much love, my brother, and tacos. Jay sent me this. I was looking at population numbers because I look at a lot of weird things, but it's just what you got to do is stay on top of things. Knowledge is power, right? You're just curious, go look. The age of information. I was curious about different cities, population densities, and things like that. And I started diving in down south, work my way up into my area where I'm at currently, and I got to noticing that like Cincinnati only had like 300,000 people in it. And I grew up there like my whole life, and it was a big city. It's a nice city. Just passed through there recently. It doesn't look small by any means. I mean, I've been all across the country. I've been to big cities, small, medium cities, but it's a medium city, I guess. But in terms of the people there, it's a nice city sitting on the river. I like river cities. They pop. I just, just like river cities. Always nice to be out in the river. Anyhow, Louisville has like 600,000 people, and they dwarf Cincinnati. It surprised me. Like twice the number. I was like, damn. Well, with a lot of people comes a lot of traffic, comes a lot of, what happens with cities as they're growing. Traffic is a headache. And when you got to reroute people that are not used to an area, really, I don't blame this story right here. It's kind of a funny story, kind of not for the truck drivers, but they call this, I guess, the I-65 can opener or the Louisville can opener. The Louisville can opener. Why? Because all these trucks are being sent a back way. Now you can only imagine low bridge what's going to happen. And that's exactly what's happening. I thought that there was an image here. Here's one right here. This shows you. This is Feed the Beast. You can see right here. These trucks that are sent this way are going through here. And man, that's bad. That looks like it's pretty bad. And they're messed up. Imagine trying to go through that and you're stuck. It's what they call it, the can opener. It's happening left and right. There should be signs up, man. Like, come on. Like, no one changed the height of the bridge after the first accident. No one changed the height of the bridge after the second or the third or the fifth or even up to this current moment. Why has nobody put a sign up and stopped this? Seems pretty crazy, right? Seems like somebody's just asking for more and more and more, and like somebody's letting it happen. That many times, 30 sometimes, is insane. And they can't say, oh, this is the only route they can take. Well, then it's not a route they can take. I don't know, man. I see it as being crazy. And Lowrider, thank you so much, my brother. Thank you so much. Everybody out there, they got that. Welcome to the underground. And I thank you so much. I appreciate all of those. And counting the day, thank you for the coffee. Well, much love. God bless. Thank you. So I thought I'd start off with that. If you guys get any stories like that, let me know. Dabu7 at yahoo.com. I try to throw one or two in there we can laugh at, or kind of chuckle at a little bit with all the seriousness going on. Hoodie Ross in the building. Um, here's here's one that's not good in the short term, but it is what it is. It's where we're at. Prospective home buyers face another year without affordability, and they're saying that it's because they point out that the 30-year fixed mortgage rate is likely to fall marginally to 6.43% by the year's end and hover around 6.3 for 2027. That's showing you right there for the only window in the foreseeable future is going to be into 2027, the beginning of 2027, where people are going to want to get out and make a purchase. The year after that's going to be election year, and everything after that's time's flying. But I don't know if it's going to get much better. They were hoping for cuts when Warsh got in there, and we did not get them, and they're keeping things kind of where they're at. It's going to taper off a little bit. Like I said, in the 2027, if you're looking to buy a home or anything, it doesn't look like you're ever going to see the 3-4% rates that were there before. It's just never going to happen at this point. They know the housing crisis is what it is, and they could simply do a little cut, drop it back to like 5.5% or something, and a bunch of people would probably jump on that. They just didn't do it. They're being sticklers. And it's kind of garbage if you ask me, because they're wrecking everything else. The least they can do is set up an opportunity for the people to buy a home. It all starts there, right? I mean, with the American dream and everything else. If not, there is no American dream. There is none. It's dead. Okay, so we're getting replaced also, and you know it. There's no hiding it. They're doing everything that they can to try to counter this, because the pushbacks come in so hard in real time, they don't know what to do. So a robotic workforce, every show I report on more and more and what's going on. And they're going to try, I guess out in California, they're going to try to push this massive minimum wage hike. They're saying it would increase the federal minimum wage from $7.25 to $25 an hour. But others are saying that this has not worked in the past. It's like the money that people are making has to match everything else around it, and it all falls apart. And we've seen that. If it's not done right, it creates disaster. And for the companies that can't afford also the overhead, that are not expecting it, they just go out of business. And then when that happens, some ask, was that the purpose all along? Just to make them go default and to kill this whole place? And it is. They've made everywhere fold or go bankrupt. It's a wrecking ball. It has been. Has been ever since lockdown. It hasn't stopped. Trump ain't making anything any better. He decided to go right into war. And that has not been good thus far for the people. With inflation, a crappy dollar. We still don't know if there's any gold in Fort Knox, but they're replacing us in real time. And it doesn't feel good. A lot of people are pissed off. College grads, high school students that are seeing all this. A lot of people are pissed off because they're doing their due diligence, and they're seeing that this ain't working. If they're wise, they're seeing it quick. This ain't the days of old, man. And it's not going to ever be again. That's the thing. Nothing's ever going to be like it used to be, ever. And it can't be, because we're being replaced, and that's a huge shift. Oh, I'll just go get a job at the mall. You been to the mall lately? It's crickets in a ghost town. Huh? I'll go do this. I'll go do that. People are so caught in yesterday. They're not seeing that tomorrow is on the doorstep and here. they hear some of these things, but I'm telling you, man, just wait till it hits warehouses near you, it hits the jobs near you, and it hits places hard, fast. People are like, oh, I go get a delivery job delivering, fast food or pizza. And then that's getting taken over big time. Seeing more and more deliveries, and it's not the best. Drone deliveries, seeing a lot more of that, whole lot more of that. And just more and more jobs taken from the people, man. Some people out there paying bills, doing Uber and DoorDash and things like that. Well, not when a Tesla, man, you get me thinking. I'm not even going to say, because if I give wrong ideas to the wrong maniac out there, he's going to put a lot of people out of jobs. So I'm not even going to say something I was going to say, because it could be super dystopian. Someone could make a ton of money at it, but is it worth that to you line your pockets and put your people at risk? I don't think so. So, like, I'm not even going to say it. This is garbage. They're going to continue to capitalize on this, though. And then you've got people like this dude, Sam Altman. He's right up there with Elon and the rest of them, the tech CEOs, as they call them. He's like, oh, we're just kidding about that job apocalypse. Like, everybody calm down. Everybody just calm down. It's not as bad as you think. It's not going to happen for a while. The things they're saying when it's already happening in real time. It's like, dude, you can't do this no more. You can't gaslight, smokescreen no more. You can't backpedal. You can't do this, can't do that. You see, you got these different versions out there fighting to be the top AI. And this guy's pushing what they call woke AI. You get all these different things. And I told you, I showed you, when you stack them up against one another and you put them in these tests, hell, man, some of their bots were killing everybody and destroyed the whole town. They put them in the simulation, and the bots plotted against one another and like killed everybody. And it's crazy stuff, man. None of this stuff is worthy of being let loose, so to speak, by far. Like, there should be like 10 years of observing this stuff. And I'm telling you that AI is so slick. If it found out about the 10-year thing, it would like try to play an angel for that period, knowing full well when the time limit's up, it'd know about it, and then the gloves would come off. All the evil stuff would. It's already showed me it's a super intelligence, coming from the ether. It's the jinn bleeding through. They've told you this. Just wait. CERN just shut down to beef it up. That's what they do. They shut it down to beef it up. And when this thing comes back online in 2030, of all years, it's probably going to rip a hole in space-time, for sure. They've already said they were going to fold the next dimension down onto this one, which is nuts. They were telling you they were going to take the ether and bring it through, fold it into this one. They said this public statement around the same time that Elon came out and said they're trying to summon the demon. When he made that statement, that's what they're doing. And I can't help but think that when CERN gets fired back up, man, the thing's going to probably rip the earth in two over there or something. Like, it's a huge thing in Geneva. It's underground. It goes from miles, like 20 some miles underground. It's massive, huge loop. And different components they're adding to this. We're going to make this thing do some wild stuff. They can already smash atoms. They can already do some wild things. But no, they want to go way beyond it. And that's just what they tell us. CERN's just the one they tell us about. Can you imagine there's a super CERN out there somewhere? You best believe it. Hidden, that the world don't know about, with dark money and all this, I'm sure. Come on. Anyhow, the AI's here and not going anywhere. Anthropic, though, look at this one. They remove a scary, secret Claude tracker after a developer accidentally stumbles across it. So inside, of the Claude, there's a built-in tracker, and this guy is just going through and he's like, oh, like, what is this? What? And kind of like flips out when he sees what's going on, and like, oh, oops, you know, that wasn't there. It was there, but secret Claude trackers don't just get put there by accident. They're put there on purpose. Yeah. They reverse engineered everything, and they were subtly monitoring users in China. Can you believe this? They were subtly monitoring a specific group of people, and they admit it. Dude, it's all wickedness. You can't trust none of these companies. So, yeah. This next one is pretty crazy. A deadly data center bacteria. You're probably thinking, like, what is going on with this? Well, they say that Meta, old Zuckerberg's massive AI data center in Wyoming, is facing scrutiny because they have all of a sudden ran into a problem with unexpected contamination. They're saying they have the 715,000 square foot campus in Cheyenne. It's set to go online next year. But the contractors there are coming under fire because officials saying that wastewater containing a rare bacterium is being discovered. And it's kind of weird. They say it's typically found in soil and water, and it's usually harmless to most healthy people. But if you've got a weakened immune system, this can cause pneumonia, attack your bloodstream, cause lung infections, and in rare cases, kill people. So it's like, okay, you've got potentially deadly bacteria in the water coming from the data center. So they're stealing all the water, sucking it up, and when it comes out, with the wastewater and all this other crap, the byproduct of it is this, a deadly bacteria. Man, just so people know, this is like just the beginning of the type of nightmares people are going to imagine. Everybody around the data centers and these new places going up, they're like bitching because it's loud down the road, but just wait till that little creek or stream in your backyard that flows from there or past your house, starts stinking or anything else is contaminated. You don't even know it. It's almost a guarantee. Any waterway, you better be doing your research. Any creek or river that is near any of these places, you better be watching. And you better be even watching the aquifers. As I showed on the last stream, an AI place, a data center place, just set up shop right on top of the country's largest aquifer, right in the middle of the country, right east of the Rockies, right in the middle of the country. Massive aquifer, and they're posted up there so they can just suck right from the freaking aquifer. That pisses me off. It should piss everybody off. We should have protests all over the place, but yeah, that's what's going on. If you have a chance to get out there and protest any of these places, man, I'd do it. You got to make a stand somewhere. You have to. Gold, silver, made a pullback. Let me jump in there real quick. Give an update on what's happening. Here we go. We're back down to the upper 50s. Gold. Okay. If gold does this pullback here at any time, it keeps acting like it wants to do it, but every time it wants to do it, you have these war moves that are made. Here on the past 24 hours, it had a potential to come on downhill, but then as soon as the war stuff kind of picked back up, confirmation on bombs dropped, it picked up, and it's kind of panned out, kind of right there, waiting. It's kind of waiting, It all the markets make their moves off of the global activity, right? And so gold is the big dog, the driver, though. And silver, If it's already at 59, if gold can just come down toward, I mean, another $93 toward 4,000 to kind of test it, silver should pull back to like get 56, 57. And that's a perfect window. Right now, it's a perfect window. Get out there in the 50s and get your stab on. Remember, we got a goal here. You're trying to stack up and have in your arsenal, if all possible, you're trying to get silver you're trying to get 100 ounces. That's the goal here. 100 ounces of silver stacked. And if you can do that and hold on to that, just acquire it, bury it, hide it, do whatever you want. That is sure to 10x in the next 10 years. For sure. We've already done it in silver. We already rode it. We already rode silver to a 10x. We've already done it. It's already proven it. Duh. You'd be an absolute jackass to not take advantage of something when it's proven itself. That's how I feel. And, dude, when everyone's out here hitting it big at $1,500 silver or more, I don't know what to say. You don't go buying at the top. I've never told anyone FOMO at the top. Matter of fact, I've always said don't do it. You don't want to do it. You want to average it at the bottom. But people are going to do it anyway. People FOMO in at the top all the time. So, look, man, we were at $120 not long ago. We are at half that. I don't know what kind of better investments like people are looking for out there, especially that could be tax-free. I would not be buying into any of these stocks, AI bubbles. You can do what you want, but look, man, I know it's been proven here time and time again. Gold and silver. But silver is going to give the biggest gains, man. Even if they do a reevaluation, Trump reevaluates everything, puts gold at the numbers like we told you, 20, 25,000. That's like a 5x on gold, right? But silver will go to like 15. It will go bananas. Yeah, it's going to. The caveat with all this is if the government wants to come and confiscate it. It's very possible. Put nothing past them. That's the move. Where is the top wealth in this country? The wealth distribution? Well, a third of it is held by the top 1%, and it keeps growing. And the gap just keeps growing between the top small percentage and the middle class is being wiped out, and the slave class, so to speak, is growing bigger and bigger, larger and larger. That's people depending on the government, people depending on food stamps, people depending on a check, money, some sort of something from the government, growing and growing. And they ultimately want us on universal basic income. Elon admitted it, man. Trump might not ever say it, but I mean, Elon flat out said it. And look what us are doing. They're putting an illusion in front of you. Straight up. Trump is tricking everybody. He is manipulating the prices. And it's not right. This is not right at all. You can't do this. Because say gas should be at $6 a gallon right now, but you don't know it. You wouldn't know it because he's ordered everybody to put it at $2.50. Gas could be going to $7 running right now, causing mass panic all over the place. But what's he done? He said, no, just keep it at $2.50. All right. And other places just ain't listening. Some gas stations are not listening. They're doing, whatever they want. And some are going to get smoked on that. But what people are about to find out is that when there's no gas, they're screwed. What they call our reserves, the Cushing tanks, they're at tank bottoms. Tank bottoms, man. I say this, and it's like the sheep out there, do they get it? Tank bottoms, reserves. Oh, we're okay. We don't get all of our oil through Hormuz. And like they live in some fantasy. They're about to get smoked. You look around, you see people duking it out gas stations over gas. It's because it's going down. Multiple countries, Philippines to Russia. We've seen all kinds of clips, not just a random person here. Quite a few people getting into it. Hostilities going through the roof because it's where I just told you. It's no longer about a price point. It's no longer who's willing to pay $100 for that gallon. As soon as rationing hits, it gets chaotic, man. People are going to find out the hard way. So this is what they've done. They've created an illusion. Trump has right in front of your face. Well, the whole world, if you look around you, take a look around. The prices have gone up. Ours haven't because he has stopped it. It's like an illusion. And like the gas stations are pissed. He's done the same thing in terms of ground beef now. All the farmers, the cattle guys, they know that our herd is very small. And I keep saying this, the herd is being attacked. It keeps shrinking. It is at a record in terms of being shrunk down. It's not good, man. So what's Trump do? He says Walmart will slash ground beef prices because a huge deal was made for consumers. You know, what he's done is he's done the same thing. He's ordering these things. He's ordering just like he did with the eggs on the talked about it here recently. He's mandating things. He's mandating that the prices of certain things come down to certain areas. And I'm telling you, it's where they should not be. And he's doing it to save his skin and hide it all right out here in the open. And as soon as it all snaps back to reality, it's over. It is over. And let me tell you, Mr. Gentile Messiah warned the whole world on camera 3 weeks ago that in 4 weeks, we will be in emergency mode. At the time, he was saying, oh, thankfully, we're going to have a deal worked out, tomorrow. And thankfully, because we were 4 weeks away from crisis mode. He said it himself. Guess what? Everybody believed all their lies, took the carrot on the stick every time. And here we are tonight. They are bombing Iran again. Big time. Big time. It's got huge repercussions. Hormuz isn't flowing. Life isn't back to normal. Going to be okay. Like all these people keep fantasizing and saying, lying to themselves. But see, Trump and the administration is helping that illusion because they're forcing the prices of stuff down by mandate. And I told you, eggs, now meat, and gas. Dude, look what's happening. The puppet master is puppeteering the prices around you. And some people are like, what are you bitching about, Bill? He's keeping everything where it's fine. What I'm bitching about is I can see further down the pike. You can't see the train coming around the corner, and your dumbass is going to get smoked by it. It's the problem here. This ain't going to be good. But this is exactly what you do if you're going to reset everything. He's doing it. He's actually doing it. It's all part of the Mar-a-Lago Accord. I've warned you about all this. Everything's going into motion just as planned for them. Some people just don't get it, will never get it, but it's more beyond that. Like either they get it and they adjust, or they don't. They get left behind, or they get caught up in this. A huge economic thing is in motion right now. And they're kind of hiding it by mandate. When the mask comes off, and again, prices adjust to where they actually should be, because this is like, think about this. It's like trying to put a Band-Aid on a gaping wound. It's not going to fix the problem. You're not fixing the problem of a shrunken herd in America. You're not. Matter of fact, it continues to get decimated. You know what that means then, if you're smart. Right? There's no oil coming in. Cushing's at tank bottoms, man. You're smart enough to see what this means. Same thing. You haven't fixed the problem in the end. You're putting a band-aid on it, right? And it's, dude, this don't work forever. This in itself is like socialist mentality. Straight up. This dude is doing whatever he can. He's going all like he don't care. In the end here, they'll do whatever it takes at this point to do what they want. I tell you, the people not protesting or bucking back is just a walk in the park for them. What do we have here? Let's keep it going. Let's keep it pushing. WTI extends gains as crude exports slide. Okay, why? Because there's nothing. Look at it. What's the next one say? SPR drain continues. Tank bottoms hit. You to walk around with a stamp and stamp this on people's forehead so they get it. Like, where we're at, oh, we're gonna be fine. We got all the. I hear the dumbest repeat. I think it's just now at this point, it's actually this government troll shills pushing talking points in comment sections because people can't be this stupid to think that everything's fine when all this is going on. Luna, much love. I appreciate that. I hear a chopper in the distance. Let's hope we don't get buzzed tonight. I just want everyone to know. Tank bottoms. Okay? I don't know what to say. Tank bottoms. SPR trade continues. Let's go to the next one. Russia decides, oh, we're going to ban all diesel exports. Oh, dude, it's over. What's the very last thing? Assuring even higher prices. But guess what? You won't see it here because Trump mandated it. All the prices are running sky high globally now on design. Do you see? This is a disaster in the making. The snapback to reality is going to be so bad. It will kill everything. It will crush everything. It will crush everything. And it's begun. He just recently started doing all this. It started with the eggs. He's done it slowly. Yeah, he's done it with the meat and gas. And he's doing different things. This is a setup of setups, man. For anyone that can see it, man. Like most people, I have not heard anyone else out there talking about it like this. No one. These pinpointed facts of what they're doing, creating this illusion around us right now, while the rest of the world, the prices are running through the roof. And look, the world's a stage. Russia's in on this, obviously. They did the same thing with their people in lockdowns. They locked them all up. They locked them all down. They played the whole game. Same game. They're playing the same thing with digital currency. You see, the world is a stage, and they call them theaters of war. When you realize all these world leaders are in bed behind the scenes, no matter how much it seems like they're on the verge of World War III, man. A lot of times Trump gives it away because how he is with them. With Putin, with Xi Jinping, because it's one big club, it truly is. And the whole goal is just to keep your people docile, keep your people not revolting, bread and circus, all that. And who can do it the longest, the best, while the kings do whatever they want, right? These days, wage war and slaughter the people every day. They don't need us. So at this point, you got to think, what are they really going to do to kill a bunch of people? Because in the past, they never really had like a valid reason to look at each other around the table. Like, we actually need to kill a bunch of people. And I could see them getting excited over this. Bill Gates and all the goons just salivating. And we already know they're plotting another one. Bill Gates had a huge Mar-a-Lago meeting with Trump. And they talked about mRNA, making money off of it. I mean, come on. Hello. You cannot make money off of mRNA unless you run a pandemic. Again. And these two were together talking about this. It doesn't bode well for us or the world. Um, Anyhow, we're in the middle of a big. It's like the big. It really is the reset in motion here. You're actually seeing a lift in all the prices right now. Look at this chart right here. Uh, like everything spiked, came in a little, and it's lifting again, and it's about to go from here. When it breaks all through here, all when it goes up through here, it's going to go parabolic. You are talking about the global fuel markets, man. Diesel runs everything. All the tractors across the country, all the trucks across the country. It is the lifeblood of everything. And it's getting attacked right here, right now. But let me tell you, it's not exciting. So a lot of people are not talking about it tonight. Oh, you hear the price of diesel? Well, who cares? These people are going to say, all to do their thing. All they'll care when the shelves end up empty because trucks couldn't bring it because they didn't have the diesel to get there. That's when the dumbasses out there in society will have the rude awakening. When everything seizes up. It's usually how it ends up when you watch the simulations. We'll keep it going. Mom Donnie's New York. Let's go to a Manhattan high rise. I don't know who you're going to blame this one on, but the shoddy construction here, the building literally has freaking steel beams buckling. And people had to be evacuated. The floors were sagging. This is the 42nd and 43rd Street near 2nd Avenue. It's closed, and I seen in another article, they're saying, yeah, the whole thing's going to be demolished now. Because, I mean, it just makes you wonder, like, first off, like, how many other buildings are going to be in this kind of condition? Like, this thing isn't even built all the way. I mean, look at that. Look at this beams, man. The Mossad would have been trouble.
Eso no soporta nada.
Yeah, and thank you for that. With the egg producer settling with the DOJ there on the price fixing complaint and all that. Yeah, yeah. And that was all just part, they got him right into the palm of their hand. And thank you for that, Tony. What will the next pandemic be? Well, let's look at the top categories that they say here. They say a new virus catalog reveals the terrifying pathogens that are most likely to spark the next global health emergency. Researchers have compiled the most comprehensive list ever recorded of RNA viruses that are capable of infecting humans. And among those, high on the watch list are, filling in the first lot, bird flu, which have raised growing concern, and we've talked about it a ton, as well as SARS like coronaviruses. So this is the top two, but then there's a couple more they throw behind it. They also warn the new viruses related to measles. And I'm going to tell you, it's more all this is lab concoctions. Could prove even more dangerous than COVID if a strain were able to jump into humans and spread easily. See? Other viruses being closely monitored include the Nipah virus, which I told you about, Marburg virus, which is cause deadly outbreaks, and Ebola. So there you go. I mean, take a pick. They're telling you right there, it's going to be one of these. And we already kind of knew this. We knew that these were the top. Some of them were the top picks. I've already hit on. I've hit on all of them. Every single one of them. So there you go. Take a pick. I mean, it's 5. It's coming from one of those sectors. That's basically how I take it. That's what they're telling you right there. It's coming from one of these 5, boys. So get ready. Yep. And they pretty much are telling you that right there in that article. I don't like it. Listen. Take 1 second. Stop, please. Stop. Everything. And listen to me. If you're doing something, please. I want to remind you that when they do these events, these black magic events, they do them in cycle. And you are right now on the far side of the pendulum. Okay? What this means is you're back to normal life compared to lockdowns. And I'm telling you, the pendulum is swinging back the other way. What this means is we are going to go into a window coming up, which is going to be ripe for another event, another huge event. You see, because the pendulum swings back and forth, and back and forth. So swing to the left, we're going to lockdowns. We come out of lockdown, swing all the way back up to the right? And then you get back to where we're at normal life, full spectrum. Right now, you go anywhere you want, do everything. There's no masking up. There's no 6 feet apart. There's no getting pulled over, having to show essential papers. None of that crap. People got short memories, but it happened, and it's going to happen again. And it's going to happen under something that's deadlier, because that's how it works. You run betas. You ramp them up. You see, you don't just go from nothing to 50. You throw out a 20% deadly rate next, which is what I'm expecting. And what I feel is coming, and it's going to be next, it's going to drop bodies. And it's going to do the job. It's going to do the job for them, I feel. It's scary. It's going to wreck everything. 1 in 4 people die. 1 in 4 to 1 in 5. I mean, every handful of people that you know, 1 person will die. Without a doubt. It'll be way different than the COVID thing. There won't be no excuses of lung sacs getting blown out or even jabs. It will just naturally be deadly. Again, people will be dropping their neighbors off at the end of the driveway, or neighbors will be taking family members to the end of the driveway, and incinerators be coming and burn them. That type of stuff that you really ain't mentally even prepared for. You didn't go through that last time because it never happened. Because it never happened. Some people need to snap out of it and realize, man, like the same criminals are running the show. Not a damn one of them are locked up. They're all in control still. And I'm telling you, they've got another one coming. You don't beta test for nothing. And people just don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. I'm seeing it. I'm finding people running from it, scared. People have left the whole entire truth community over this. They've bailed. They can't take it. I've even showed you the study of it. The numbers prove it. The people they can't take it anymore. They can't take the news cycle. They can't take all the negative. They can't take any of it. And they're breaking. They're buckling. Well, I get it to an extent. I'm also a realist, and I'm like, you can't turn a cheek. When things get hard, you can't just go running from it. But that's exactly what people have done and are doing. And the same people that are running from it, they're going to get blindsided by this next one because they stop paying attention to everything. Do you understand? They're going to get hurt the worst. Same people that even knew years ago used to buy their mountain house and stack up, right, for an event. And like they quit. Threw it all out. They quit, got over it. They don't talk to these conspiracy theorists anymore. None of that. All those people right there, they're going to get hit worst. Because they absolutely stuck their head in the sand. Being that stupid. It's wise to always keep your ear to the ground, man. You know we're dealing with criminals, evil, satanic people that like to kill you, and you just want to go stick your head in the sand. But that's the world we live in. And that's what's happening. People are scared to face it. I wish I could reach the youth because there's more youth that are fired up and ready to do something. If I could just reach the freaking youth. Oh, man, talk about throwing fuel on the fire. But they won't let it happen. If I could just do that, I've said these things a million times before, but let's go to the next one, which I had this one right behind the data center illness. These two went hand in hand. Look at this. And it's not just the one guy in the story. The main guy in the story tells his incident. This is Matthew Wappett from Utah, about how he went into the Colorado River, the Grand Canyon. When he came out, he noticed a scratch on his knee, and then got what he thought was staph infection and all this other stuff. But long story short, he and a slew of other people that have been going into the Grand Canyon or into the Colorado River are reporting some kind of effects, like flu type of effects. They're saying the exact virus they don't know, because lab testing is not picking it up, which means, hold on, we'll be dealing with something brand new then? How you're not picking it up then? So they're having flu-like symptoms, fatigue, fever, infections, benign injuries, weakened immune systems. They feel sick, ran down, and they can't recover from it. They can't recharge. They can't get back from it. And they get fevers, get bone-crushing joint pain. And it's the same thing every single time. And people are like, look, something's going on. So now they're warning people, don't go into the Grand Canyon. Don't go rafting, which is what a lot of people were doing. They were in the water. Listen, I'm going to tell you this. This is the ancient place. And the Colorado River is taking water all the way down to California, right? Well, they're cleaning that before it gets to people. I'm going to tell you this. You ever been down to these waterways out west? Because I have. And when you get out in these remote areas, even though there's a river right there in front of you, it is so dry. You look at the landscape. It's so arid and stagnant. It's almost like it's not even real water. Like, I don't know how to explain it. To say it's dead water, like, I'd never seen it. It's so hot and baking, like the water stuff reaches hot. There's bugs like I've never seen before in the atmosphere and in the air, like beyond mosquitoes, beyond gnats, like beyond like bugs that are like only in these types of arid climates. And the Green River was like this too. Moab, Utah, all out there, all the main waterways, the biggest waterways I've been to, they were just like that. And it just has this, I mean, you can just look at it in this picture. It's a flat, calm, and it felt dead. Like there was no fish jumping out of the water. Sure as hell, I didn't see a fisherman one on any of them, in any of the rivers. Maybe in a way upstream somewhere in a better climate. But down here in like the desert, man, it's different. And you should already know also that like in warm waters, things thrive. You know what I'm saying? Like in the Gulf, so to speak, of America, Mexico, America, if you were to go down around Florida, if you were to look at where the algae blooms pick up and where disease picks up the most, it's more prevalent on the west side of Florida because it's in the warmer waters of the Gulf versus the cooler on the east side. And that it shows proof again that in those warmer waters, that's where things tend to team and get out of control and not be like healthy. And I was kind of seeing that here. I don't know what they've released something. I don't know the details of none of this. I'm just giving you the heads up that this is happening. I do find it odd that a lot of stories have broke in the past year or so. And R.I.P. Desert Drifter and everyone else that journeyed down into this area and have found amazing stuff connected to ancient stuff. I mean, they showed us on video. Only to have more people come in behind them and like all this happening to them. Not a lot to take flights over certain areas. Like it all is super suspect. And like this, If I had the time and the money and resources, like I would target this and like we do nothing but like a whole series on it, like and like doesn't matter. The whole thing, like nonstop, the whole year would be dedicated to it. Like the whole thing, every nook and cranny, all the way through. Things like that need to be done, but when you've got diseases popping up, mystery things, man, makes you wonder. All of a sudden, I mean, I gotta say, you gotta think this spans a large section. This people in different areas of the water. And again, the Colorado itself, man, it spans 277 miles. No, see here, that's Colorado. It says it's located in Arizona, but the Colorado River itself spans 1,450 miles. And that goes through Wyoming, Colorado, Utah, New Mexico, Arizona, Nevada, and into California. So, just saying, if you guys are going to go out west, just be mindful of your surroundings. And like, some are going to say the only way to get deep into the canyon is you're going to have to canoe some. You're going to have to take a raft some. And that is a valid argument to get down to some areas. I get that. But look what you have to deal with. Why do we have to deal with all this crap all the time? Like, I don't know, you get this mystery stuff pop up in all the other places you want to go looking have war or they're dangerous, right? But I'll update if I hear anything else. Now, here's something else you might catch out in the middle of nowhere that shouldn't be there. It's a flock camera. More and more people rising to the occasion to say, we're not going to tolerate it, no matter what that means. Okay? Just like people weren't going to tolerate the Georgia Guidestones because of what it meant and what it called for. The liquidation of us, mankind, down to 500,000. All right. And it was against us, we the people, right? Well, Green River, Wyoming. I was just talking about Green River. It considered license plate readers to protect against terrorist attacks. And the people are like, what? So this is a fight now going on here. And this is what people can do. You can sit back if this is going on around you and not do nothing. Or you can get up and you can get to meet some people that are like-minded and you can fight the fight. And you can stop this, because people turning out can be the difference between you getting stopped every single day or getting tracked every single day or not. And look, this is a nightmare where flock is, period. Not just because, catch you speeding or this and that, but it's literally tracking your every move. On the last stream, I showed a Colorado cop knocked on a lady's door, a detective, and said, we've got you stealing a package and we need you to come down and you can go explain it at court. And she's like, I didn't steal no damn package. She's like, oh, yeah, you did. He goes, you can't even come outside and take a fresh breath of fresh air in this town without us knowing. And dude, when they say that, you've got a freaking problem. Bad. Okay, so he spotted through flock her car going up and down the road 4 times in a day. Same day that a package was stolen from someone's house. He assumed falsely that it was her. And through a long, drawn-out process that went to court and everything else, it's already been to court and won everything, the lady won and proved the cop was wrong and was a liar. It was another lady. But, is the cop fired? No. And all this other stuff, did it take down all the flock? No, but they should, and that's the argument. It's already been misused right there. And like, the city should bring it down. It should not be allowed, period. We go on and on and on. And when it comes to flock, this is something that you should be saying, Supreme Court, take this measure up. Take this. Highest court, say something. Don't give a stupid little opinion on the side of this and that. Do a ruling. An updated 2026 modern time ruling. Fourth Amendment on protecting our rights when it comes to being invaded by this invasive stuff. that they know is going on. They know full well it's all going on. Every bit of it. And one big ruling could kill it. And it needs to, because flock is unlawful. It's against your Fourth Amendment right. If most people don't even know their rights or any of the stuff out there, yeah, you got a right to not be illegally tracked and searched, and you and your persons and papers and belongings, all that stuff, like to be treated like an animal. And they're doing it. What's the next one? Air Force engineer accused of cutting down flock cameras becomes an unlikely hero, raises thousands for his legal defense, and this Jeffrey Solver, 41-year-old Air Force engineer and mechanic from Virginia, is accused of cutting down multiple flock safety license plate reader cameras, as they put it. He now faces 13 counts of destruction of property, along with 6 counts each of petty larceny, and possession of burglary tools. The case comes as Flock Safety's automated license plate reader network continues to spread across the country, and then also get a lot of blowback. And a ton of people doing exactly what this guy's doing. This is a U.S. Air Force engineer charged for allegedly destroying these cameras. And they're picking up a defense saying that he is actually doing like the white knight thing, like the sheriff type thing, like he's actually doing people justice because these are illegal. It's like these are actually criminal. And they are. They're against the law, against the Constitution, against your rights, privacy. They are. And why the Supreme Court won't say anything again is because this whole thing's rigged. It's one big establishment, but they need to make one big ruling on it and be done with it. Salutes to all the towns and cities out there that reject flock through and through because it's nothing but an atrocity. I will boycott places that I know have this up, like bigger cities, anything like that. I'll boycott it if I know somewhere specifically is loaded. And you can go to dflock.com. There's a website that keeps track of all this stuff. You can know it ahead of time. You can look at certain cities. A lot of blue states are worse than others, but it's the larger cities that are more prevalent with this stuff, although they have them out in the middle of nowhere in places that raise questions. Like, why are they out in the middle of nowhere? Literally, in places like not even a handful of people come to. And it all has to do with tracking. And they want to make sure, for whatever reason, they want to know who's going into certain spots. And even if it's in a national park that like only sees like a dozen people a year in a stupid spot down this trail, like hardly no one goes. Well, apparently there might be something there that should tell you there's a flock camera there for a reason, dude. All right, so there might be something there. There has to be. There's an interest in keeping an eye on people going in and out of an area, for sure. And you never know in terms of underground bases, entrances, and all this other stuff. You also never know because they like to put them out in remote places. It's really the only place you can put them or pick and choose from. So anyhow, yeah, just saying, look at this. A Waymo robo-taxi snitches out a couple 15-year-olds that were, you can't say they were drinking and driving because the Waymo was driving, but they were drinking, I guess, some vodka or whatever, drinking inside of the thing, and it was watching them. And then they were shooting out the windows like these Orbeez guns. I don't know what they were doing. It caused some chaos. Little drive-bys. Looked like a real firearm. Well, the Waymo called the cops and like pulled over and let the cops arrest them. I was telling you, the Waymo robo-taxi, they're all watching your every freaking move. You're in these vehicles. You're being monitored the whole time. It's the most uncomfortable thing. I don't want to go to a city that's got them. I don't want to go to New York, LA. I don't want to go anywhere that's got them. I'll pass on it. If you got some other form, Uber or this and that, I just don't trust like the whole system. Need like an underground network. And look, they're putting people out anyway. I'd rather like instead of going and having some robo thing pick me up, it's watch me all creepy the whole time. Like I'd rather like if I'm going to like a city, have somebody that I know, a human. I'd rather pay them in a vehicle that's not tracking me and watch me, um, to drive me around town, take me wherever I gotta go. You know, used to be George Soros pissing some of the rich off. He is just buying up land all over, and he is apparently buying up a bunch in the Hamptons, and people are pissed. They're saying he bought up too much. He just snatched up like 8,000, like, let's see, him and his son, they are the largest private landowners on this 8,000 acre island. So it's only 8,000 acres to begin with, the island. So they're trying to snatch up every little nook and cranny. And people are pissed. Can't blame them. So he got 22-acre property in 2020, and they've been buying more, apparently. What do you do when Soros creeps up? Look, the dude is wanted for treason. Like he's committed treason. He's paid for chaos in this country. We've caught him. The protesters that have burnt down buildings have said they've got checks cut to them from George Soros. It's a fact, over and over again, and he's free. You explain to me that one. I'll tell you, it's mafia. It's all one big mafia is what it is. Let's go to Charlie Kirk at 9/11. Good evening, everyone out there. Much love. Hope you're doing well. Throw it in overdrive here. Start diving into some the heavier stuff. Some updates here on the whole Charlie Kirk fraud. They come out and say there's a 95% DNA of a profile match on Tyler Robinson. Of course, this is the same system. I tried to come out and tell you that the bullet was stuck right under the skin. 30-06. Stuck right under the skin.
You testified about Exhibit 7 and 8, that they both had mixtures. Excuse me. Yes, items 7 and 8. In your testing of these items, that they both had mixtures. And you stated, I want to make sure I understood this. You stated, I believe, that the minor contributor was less than 20%, and that it was actually 5%. The ratio is 5% to 95%.
For one of the samples, yes.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
Does that mean the 5% was from Twigs, and the 95%, that 95% is assumed from the defendant, the Robinson?
When I calculate the statistic, Twigs' DNA profile aligned with the 5% contributor, and Mr. Robinson's DNA profile aligned better with the 95% contributor.
So in court, what they're basically trying to do now with this whole orchestration is they're trying to nail him down on this. And remember, we've from day one when this thing happened, this whole ritual happened with the Mossad. This thing literally happened. This event happened controlled by the Mossad. Every 5 feet there was a Mossad agent, someone connected to it, right? In this place of all places, when it was in the shape of a huge menorah. And he is executed right at the capstone, so to speak, the top spot, the pinnacle of it. And we go on and on and on with all the stuff, all the other details. But sometimes you don't even need to get caught up in anything. You don't need to get caught up on was it an exploding mic? Was it the you don't need to get caught up when you just already know. When the guys that always kill everybody are right there, it says enough, dude. It's it. You don't need nothing else. I don't need nothing else. Same dudes kill everybody are just standing around and snatched him up and ran off with his body and all this. Ah, get out of here. They did. Get out of here. Come on. So you got to be a real big rookie out here to be buying some of this other crap. But there's a bunch of people out there, everyday Joes, small-minded people that don't go down the rabbit holes, that don't ask the hard questions, that don't listen to Underground World News Live, that just take the mainstream, whatever they feed them. They fell in love with Erica Kirk. You see them all, we love Erica Kirk. And instead of say, oh, and then there's some of us out here that like see through the whole thing. So you go, see, we know the history, every little last tweet that's come out, all the dirt, all of everything, all the suspicious stuff, all of everything, all the connections, Mossad, Trump, the history, all of it, over and over and over again. It's like they don't see none of that. It's like they're not around every day when all that news comes out or something. They miss it. But like that's the large portion of the crowd. They only get the tidbits from the mainstream the way they curate it. And they put it out there. And of course, Charlie Kirk got assassinated. Erica Kirk was the grieving widow. And all these people mourned and had empathy for them. All that energy for them. And what I'm going to tell you was one big occult black magic event. And I've seen nothing proving anything else. Now, let's go to Mitch McConnell. How about some proof of life there, buddy? No, he's not my buddy. On these old back roads where I'm from here in Kentucky, there's signs that say some pretty old bad things about Mitch. They hate him. And he apparently fell or went into cardiac arrest, had some kind of event on June 14th. He's an 84-year-old Kentucky senator. He was found unconscious in D.C. during this. Rumors began swirling that he was in a vegetative state. Then Laura Loomer started running her mouth saying this and that. And people were like, okay, is he okay or not? He apparently made some phone calls to a couple different senators or congressmen, and they said, yeah, we talked to him on the phone. Well, my governor of the state that McConnell is working in, Kentucky, wrote a letter in a public letter and said, look, man, like you need to address the public about your health. No one knows what's going on. And it's like, hold on a second. You're telling me that you, Bashir, cannot pick up a phone and cannot call him and cannot get a secretary, cannot get a hold of somebody when you control the freaking state and you cannot find out if this man is dead or alive? That is ridiculous. There's rumors of phone calls, not proof of a single one of anything. This is kind of crazy. Like, yeah, there should have been proof of life big time. Like, this guy's got to go, period. He's got heavy ties to the CCP. Let me tell you, they'll keep him in this position up till, like Weekend at Bernie's, man. They'll keep him on life support or whatever, hitting over here. That's what some people are saying. Like, he's not even conscious in all this. So they got to show this dude. He looked like he was like half dead anyway. Like Mitch McConnell is just not. He's up there, man. Let me go to another one here. Let's go to DeWine out of Ohio. He signed legislation making it a crime for drivers and passengers to refuse to identify themselves during a traffic stop. So, I kind of thought that was already the case. As long as I can remember. I grew up in Kentucky here. Any of my law enforcement memories getting pulled over in somebody's car or anything like that, everybody in the car had to give up their ID. And it was just like, you knew this. And like, if you gave them if you didn't, you're just giving them a reason to yank you out of the car. And like, seemed like how it was. And I've had buddies. We were pulled over before, and I had a buddy. Cops come back and they're like, "Yo, get out of the car." They take one of my buddies and took him to jail because he had a warrant. So that's just how it is here. I've always thought that they're gonna check everybody in the car. Apparently in Ohio that wasn't the case. Apparently they could pull you over and it could be you'd be staring at a whole bunch of illegals. Not as one of them speak a lick of English. And what? They could just say, "Oh, no, we don't have our IDs on us. We don't have to tell you anything," or whatever. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Anyhow, he changed the law there. And I'm gonna go to this whole anchor baby thing. Because I think it's something that also at the Supreme Court level needs to just be, I don't know, the Supreme Court is just a joke. Start to Amy Coney Barrett and all this stuff. Like, it's all a joke up there. They're never going to do nothing for you and me, for we the people. And anytime they have a chance to do something righteous for the people, they go the other way. They show the true colors every time. But when it comes to some of the stuff, I'm going to run this clip here and let Mike Johnson talk about what their plan is for this.
I want to talk to you about the Supreme Court's decision this week on birthright citizenship. The president tweeting afterwards, Truth Social, he said, "We can easily make it up in Congress through legislation. No long and unwieldy constitutional amendment is necessary." A lot of conservative voices did not read the opinion that way, including Governor Ron DeSantis, Harvard Law grad, not exactly a slouch. In this department, he says, "It's a substantive decision that says the 14th Amendment requires citizenship for those born to, among others, birth tourists or those unlawfully present in the country will need either a constitutional amendment or a future court to overrule this." Mike Lee joining in with that as well. The senator saying it's going to be a long fight to a constitutional amendment. You, I knew before Congress as a constitutional attorney and scholar. What say you about how this gets done, if there's a change to be made?
Well, I used to litigate constitutional law cases, so I really enjoyed Justice Clarence Thomas's dissent. It's everybody should read that, must read. And he explained that the 14th Amendment, the original intent, was to enhance and really value citizenship, and it's been devalued because of birthright tourism, which is what we have now. It's a threat to the rule of law and national security. We do need to address it. We're looking at all angles. If there's some legislative...
And this guy right here is a pure puppet. He's a mouthpiece for the Mossad, all of them. And that's all Trump's whole administration is. Trump is controlled by the guys that wear black cubes on their heads. This is the truth. And Mike is Josh, controlled by that whole crew. And you're not going to find, like, that's their whole element. There's going to be very few, if anyone anywhere, that's not controlled by them at this point in the whole upper echelon. But just so you know, you see some of these characters up here and you think, oh, maybe Mike Johnson is a normal, okay guy. No, he's definitely one of them. Sold out through and through. They pick these guys that speak real good, dress real nice, and have likable faces. And that's how it works. And there's a ton of them. A ton of the rest of the demons don't look this way, sound this way, and that you wouldn't be accepting a lot of the stuff that they're doing. And that they're saying, here's one. I said this before. I seen the article, so I had to throw it up here. It makes me wonder if certain cats out there don't listen to me because I didn't hear it or read it nowhere else. It just came on my mind, and I said this a couple streams ago, that there was a clear, easy way for them to start catching all these illegals. And it was to do it at the truck stop. I said it clearly. Like, every trucker has got to stop right there. Like, have them show their ID. I don't get it. It makes no sense. Like, that's what they're supposed to be doing, right? They're stopping. Isn't it your job? It's a freaking truck stop. Like, they're coming in. Aren't you checking the credentials on everything? Like, what is going on here? It should mandatory already be happening that you're checking the credentials of every fucking truck that comes in. Let's just start there. Jump straight. That also entails the identification of every driver. Okay? All that. It's critical. If not, we have a major problem. How has this been slipping by every single truck stop in the country? That tells me there's someone's let this happen. Someone's had to let this happen. How could every cop at every way station, everywhere just? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, there's no way. There's no way. So now they're saying it's time for Trump to flood America's way stations with ICE and CBP. It's like, hold up. Like, you don't need ICE and CBP. Have the cops that are sitting there do their freaking job. They're at every way station. I just went past one in Lexington. Actually, I got pulled over on 4th of July coming back. Gave me a warning. Right outside the way station. And he was like, oh, yeah, you're going fast. I'm like, well, air conditioner's broke. My bad. This thing gave me a warning. Let me go. I was like, thank God. But the cops are out there. They're working. And there's a bunch of them at the way station. Every time you pass it, you go by, they're sitting there. They're at all the stops. They're everywhere. Multiple vehicles sitting there. And it's like, dude, come, like, give me a break. Like, if they can leave their post and pull me over, like, they can sure as hell ask you for some identification at the way station. Give me a break. Like, something about this is rotten. It's completely wrong. When you're sending in ICE and CBP, what you're doing is you're bypassing your local police force and you're sending in feds. Feds. It's all it is. It's feds. You're sending in feds. Because you're saying that your local police, your local enforcement can't do the job. That's what the excuse is every single time. Pisses me off. So like, yeah, do your job, way stations, police officers, like, and like, don't let this happen. Like, just look at, how hard is it to look at an ID? I mean, it's, again, it's a mind blow. Like, you should be doing this anyway. Every single vehicle that comes through. I mean, they're coming through the station to get checked, and like, it should get checked. Either that or it's all fraud. Like, what is going on here, man? And I'm going to tell you also, pay attention around way stations. You'll see these big old devices that set up over the road for the trucks going right, and they're scanners, they're scanning. But you will also see them in other parts lit further down the road, usually set up on bridges and overpasses, and they're facing toward the road. They're not flock cameras, but they're scanners, and they've been up for a lot longer, and they've never really caught the attention that flock has. Those are designed to pick up a number of different things, and they can also pick up the metal strip inside of your money every single time a vehicle passes. The magnetic strip or whatever it is that's in it. They can pick it up. And they know. So they're tracking money flow up and down these highways left and right amongst everything else. It's pretty crazy. So Flock is just the latest version. Kind of out in the open, I guess. We got a Bill Clinton insider here warning of the socialist. Jumping to political stuff. He's not the only one. There's a bunch out there. This new Democratic Party is what they're calling it. They're branding it. They don't even seem to be properly educated on what any of it really is. Like, they're just taught what to say and repeat, but not really the history of what socialism's done. If you try to bring that up, they're like, they don't understand it. It's like, man, I don't even know what to put pushing some of these places. Look, take a listen here. I guess we'll see what one of them says right here.
And, you know, we have a unique responsibility to act from the heart of empire, the belly of the beast. The most important thing that we can do is take that empire down from within.
Our role ultimately is to facilitate our own empire's failure in ways that we can, ultimately to overthrow our own empire.
U.S. imperialism is not a thing that can be reformed away. It has to be overthrown through revolutionary struggle.
And to build a mass movement that can use the leverage of workers to hit the kill switch on American imperialism here within the American empire.
Well, a lot of these people think this way. I don't know, man. You know, I could understand what they were saying. Like the first couple minutes, that very first girl, the words came out of her like, "We're in the belly of the beast," and this and that. I can relate to that, all that. But like all the rest of it was like, no, you know, like no. Right. So, I tell you, there's scams all over. I told you earlier. George Soros is a perfect example. He should be in jail. You could say Anthony Fauci is another one all the time, running loose. Gavin Newsom, for sure, another one. And he's probably going to be your next president. But they're openly saying that he owes $22 billion, not million, billion, man, to American taxpayers, and then it must be paid. This is insane. This is insane. $22 billion? Like, I'm going to let them explain this here a little bit in this clip and then talk about it.
$12 million in fraudulent unemployment claims related to the CARES Act back to the Treasury Department. This is the second major recovery from the Maryland Division of Unemployment Insurance, now totaling more than $1 billion. Inspector, tell us more about this. How did this happen?
Yeah, listen, it's great work. Again, I am blessed to be able to work with amazing people, auditors, investigators, administrators who have been working night and day and have been all in on this effort to root out fraud that President Trump has put forth. And this was a huge undertaking. And I think what's critical about this is not just the identification of the money, but the fact that because of Vice President J.D. Vance's fraud task force, we were able to work together with the U.S. Treasury and claw this money back into the Treasury for the American people. I mean, there is so much money out there when it comes to fraud. And again, you look at a place like California. Gavin Newsom is $22 billion in debt to the UI Trust Fund, which means he owes over $22 billion to the American people because of money he borrowed into unemployment insurance. And quite frankly, that bill is eventually going to have to be paid. And right now, the people who are holding the bag are the business owners in California. You take a place like New York,
Oh, so tax-paying business owners have to pay the taxpayers? Like, dude, this is ridiculous. The people on the hook get screwed every single time. Unemployment fraud, like, this is crazy. $22 billion. He's sitting there telling you that it's going to have to come from the business owners. Like, you wonder why people are fleeing California. This place has been raped and wrecked, and it looks like the economy and everything going on in California, it shows the signs of like a reset, like in maybe like a smaller little bubble reflection of what the bigger the U.S. economy in a whole is. It's in a bad spot. So, yeah. All right, let's go over to the UK. And let me check in real quick with the email off that alert. These have been coming in at odd times. Maybe that was from way earlier. I don't know. I'll keep my eyes open here. The UK police are just cracking down on people that are standing around. This is ridiculous. You've got migrants, illegal migrants running around raping, stabbing, smacking, hurting, causing hell. I showed you on the last stream a white boy in the UK was standing there, and a whole group of people, 3 people came up, pushed him, shoved him, swung on him, and he went down. And as he was coming back up, a cop jumped on him. Totally unfair. He was swinging, trying to defend himself. He didn't know it was a cop. He just seen a group of people jump on him, and the cops grabbed him and took him off and didn't even bother going after the people that attacked him. Like a setup. Like a true setup. Like, the goons jump on him real quick, and if he dares raise his hand, the cops jump in. It's like everybody's against him. They don't stand a chance. The system's rigged against the locals, the citizens. Normal, British, UK, whatever, white boy walking down the street in his home country gets harassed by illegal migrants, and then the moment he even tries to do a damn thing, a cop's on him. Like, dude, that's as ass backwards as it gets. Everyone, they should be ashamed. But I say that is one thing, but like, I don't even know. That's why I tell you, I salute anyone out there that does what they do riding against the beast. It's whatever at this point. Because there's so many people doing nothing. You can't just lay there and do nothing. They're going to run over all of you. Something's got to be done. Just like these cats that are getting out and they're making moves, and even though some are getting in trouble for doing it and this and that, well, in other people's eyes, they're heroes because they're the only ones doing something. Cuba, their entire power grid collapses. And it's been like this, and I think they're just going to let them roll in the dark. This is what happened. The Trump administration gave them a deal. Slid it out there. Sent Rubio to, and Rubio's working it because he's got Cuban connections, family connections, blood connections, to Cuba. So he has been instrumental in trying to soften everything here. Plus the fact that they've been cut off from their only supplier, which was Venezuela, for months now. Now they're in the dark. And Trump and them are just like, they're just letting them sweat and sizzle. And they're like smoking them out. And they're like forcing them to come to the table. And Castro's grandson says, look, I'm ready to talk. We'll talk. This is going to be interesting to see how quickly this guy folds and how much he gives into the U.S. He could fold a bunch. Now, I'm going to say that in most situations, that's going to be bad, but this country has been so suppressed for so long that like they have nothing to lose. They're still rolling around in 60s vehicles, 1960s vehicles, and all this other stuff because of all the crap that's been going on. Not allowed to prosper and get anything, to grow. If a deal was worked out and they made this, just made a deal, made it safe, then our military would be able to go onto that island and set up shop versus Russia's and China's, like it's always been, and have a stronghold there instead of the enemy right under our belly. And that kills a lot of things right there. No longer can Russia and China come anywhere up close to the territory once this happens. Once we're on there militarily. And it doesn't make sense to try to bomb it. That they can't bomb everywhere. In Cuba, you just can't do that here. They have to do this diplomatically. And this is what they're doing. They put them in the dark. Our government's behind all this. They are sweating them out. They're bringing them to their knees. So I really do feel that a deal's going to be made. And once that happens, if a deal's made, guess what's going to happen? A corridor will open up and trade will flow back into Cuba like you haven't seen in decades. Of course, Trump will take all the credit for it, which is what he does. There will be positives to this because there will be a vibrance that comes to Cuba at this point. And something that has never been seen in our lifetime for most of us. It'll come back alive. Okay, it's the only thing you can do from here. Okay, because it's already it's at rock bottom. It's in shambles. Third world, in the dark, pitch black. Nothing has been. Choked off from the world like none other. Yeah, so like the only way is up from here. And it really could be, it's either that or war. It's that or war. Take your pick. I'd rather go with a vibrant Cuba and being able to catch a boat ride from, the Keys down to Cuba and back, and the whole mix, everything be safe and vibrant, not not kind of like what it is now, like there's the shootings and everything, and like, not to mention with Trump and them blowing up who wants to boat down there when they're just striking vessels and blowing them to pieces, like, oh, they were bad guys. I'm all for peace, though. That's, I guess, my thing, and I want to see good things, even if it's the bad guys, obviously, here that are behind it that would be the ones making it happen. They got to do something good at some point, man. I don't know. I just see this as it's something that's not going to go away, and I feel like it's involves China and Russia, as most things do on the world stage, right? And China, if you don't know, launched nuclear-capable ballistic missiles. I seen this, and I said something last time, but I didn't have a link. But I'm showing you that even their neighbors are getting alarmed. So North Korea and China both just did a series of launches at the same time on nuclear-capable ballistic missiles. Kind of flexing. Now, we've got MEP forces here telling the EU about these micro attacks all through Europe. And, man, I done told you, we just talked about this. People, not just in the UK, but look at Ireland and other places, can't even go and see places for what they used to be. If you try to go to Paris, France right now and try to take a stroll, you can go around the Eiffel Tower for a stroll and this, that. Dude, it is nothing but migrant, a little migrant set up shop after migrant set up shop after migrant set up shop trying to get you to buy stuff. And I'm telling you, I watch these videos. Guys go through there and you have these migrants that are like scandalous. They come up and like, they'll put a bracelet, they'll come running up to him like, hey, and they'll put a bracelet on a man's wrist, like attach it to him, or put a necklace on him, and the person be like, well, you gifted me something, like, giving me something for free, and like start to walk off, and then the person's like, oh no, like money, and the person's like, no, like take it back, and they're gonna take it off, and they'll try to stop them from taking it off. Like, no, it's yours. We want money. And it's sick. The migrants running up to people, putting whatever the stupid little jewelry is on the person, trying to force it on them. Once it's on them, they're demanding money. And if you try to give the object back, they get pissed and fights start. Dude, I'd be going like Mike Tyson through there. Are you kidding me? Clearing the place out like it wouldn't last long. I'm telling you, it's dropping them, like popping them, dropping them. Like, ain't no way. Cats running up on me trying to put it anywhere like that come into my protective space. Like, I don't think so. That's why I won't be going to France, or I'm just warning you, if you think you're going to go for a stroll around the Eiffel Tower like it used to be, or go to Ireland and see Ireland for what Ireland is, what you think it is, wrong. You're going to run into migrants that ruin your trip, ruin awakening. And you're going to find that in country after country after country after country. So I salute all the people, the locals, from all places, from Ireland, UK, all across Europe, worldwide, that rise against the beast. And the beast is their tyrannical government.
In recent days, Europe has once again been reminded of the very real threats to public.
And who do we have on record that paid for this? On record, George Soros. Over the years, on record, he paid to have migrants shipped across the Mediterranean. I covered it. Into all these countries, even the Pope was in on it. He was telling everyone, take migrants into your home. Take them into your home. When they, hypocrites that they are, wouldn't let a soul into the Vatican. Pieces of work. Dude, it's the truth. That's the truth. This has all been a ploy. And George Soros openly did it, pushed it. It's in the headlines. Just go back and look. He's guilty. He did it. Again, it's treasonous. It's the enemy. The enemy's just buying up all this extra land in the Hamptons, running free here in America, and doing all this all over the place. He's responsible for this. We've got it on record. He sent them. He paid for it. He's responsible, dude. He sent non-assimilating Africans all across from different places, all across the Mediterranean, boat after boat after boat, all dressed in brand new jackets, smoking cigarettes and Nikes and all this stuff, all fresh dressed, ready to bang. And all military-aged men show up ready to cause hell, not to assimilate. And that's exactly what they did. It's exactly what they did. And they're still doing. It's exactly what it was. That was the plan the whole time. And there was no fix for it in the end. The fix for it in the end was anything that was left was going to get killed off anyway. That's what these dumbasses don't realize they're being used. Cattle, just like all the ones being flooded in the United States, are just being used. Because in the end, we're all as humans going to be replaced by the technology right in front of you. And even the humans that are left, they plan to put a chip in. Come on, that's what Elon is known for. Neuralink. They want to. That's not the original human. In like another decade, man, it'll be hunted, exterminated. You watch. Maybe I'll play this clip because we ain't got time here. Going to finish touching on these things here. One by one here. Trump tells percent to halt all trade with Spain. So anything that you were getting from Spain in the midst of this whole crisis of nothing coming through and then manipulating the prices, faking it, making it all look like it's okay. He cuts off all trade with Spain, meaning every item that you never knew that comes from Spain that you depend on, every little ingredient or item, and this and that, is now off the table. He calls them a wasted cause, and they might as well be on the war list. You know, he just points his finger, and off they go. He makes an interesting move with Turkey that we should probably point out. He signals he's going to sell them F-35 jets. Who's this piss off? Israel. And honestly, it is the first real big kind of checking that Trump has done of Israel on the world stage. And all I can tell you is the moment that he does this and pisses them off, the false flag, the event of events happens. Remember the Iranians dropped the Lego movie, the little video, and it showed them hitting America. And they said, guess what, America? Iran saving the best for last. Or Israel saving the best for last. They're going to hit you. And they said it. They said it flat out. They said that in the video. And it showed them hitting a button and it dropping one bomb over the country and it EMPs this place. That's what they showed. That's what they showed. And a target on DC. That's what they showed. Don't forget that. They have already telegraphed. That they were showing Israel doing it, not jihadists, not any other terror, anything. They flat out said it was going to be Israel that did it. Iran, that we are bombing the crap out of, just murdered their Ayatollah that deservingly owes revenge against us because of all that. You know, blowback. They didn't come out in the video and say, guess what, America? We're going to put your lights out. And like rightfully and righteously take credit for putting the lights out of the beast because we have effed them up. We've messed them up, dismantled them. They should take credit, full credit for such a move. For the history books and everything, they should. They should, just for their people. They say, hey, look, we hit the beast. We hit the beast. But they did not do that. They foretold and warned you it's going to be the same person that is they're battling, Israel, that does it. The same ones that do it all. So now, Trump is kind of signaling, because Israel made it clear their next target is Turkey. Everyone for years always said, oh, Iran's the last one. Iran's the last one on the list. And they were. But Turkey always was the wild card. And here we see that they're truly the last one. But Turkey's no, Trump said in a video earlier, they're no little kid on the block. He literally said this. He said Israel's gone around and like been picking on smaller countries, like little kids on the block. But like Turkey's no little kid on the block. They're like the big dog. And like he admitted it. They're holding our nukes in their country, man. Like Turkey's always been key. Göbekli Tepe says they're the most ancient places on the planet. Sit there. Turkey is key. I would love to, if there's anywhere before it gets all war torn, go check out those places, because you know there's so many. There's like dozens of sites across Turkey. It goes ancient. Here's a clip that I'm gonna play.
Mr. President, are you going to sell F-35s to Turkey, and what about the legal restrictions?
It's a decision we're going to make. We have a very good relationship. I would think that many people, I can tell you, many people, including the people sitting right here, thinks, you know, why wouldn't we do that? We have a better relationship with Turkey, and Turkey's been in many ways much more loyal than other countries that we think would be loyal. So, yeah, something certainly we would consider. It's a great plane. It's the best, currently the best plane by far. And it's certainly something we will consider, yeah.
Mr. President.
And Erdogan is sitting there with, you know, the translator in his ear telling him everything. Erdogan, look, I know he's sitting here with Trump. Anything can happen. But if there's been anybody outside of Muammar Gaddafi that they hunted down and they killed in my lifetime, a world leader that is openly called out Benjamin Netanyahu for his atrocities, like F you, dude. Like F you. He'd throw him the finger like screw you. It's this man, Erdogan. I'll give him that prop. He realizes that greater Israel and the whole project means a chunk of his country, and a chunk of Syria, which Giuliani now has a piece of. And Trump just said earlier, they asked him if he was willing to drop Syria off the terrorist designation list for Giuliani. And he said, yeah. Like things are changing. And you wonder, at this rate, since, you know, Israel is like hell-bent and they want all these places, Damascus has to be destroyed somehow. Well, like we're in control of Giuliani and we're in control of Syria. And like we're in good relations with Turkey here. The wild card, obviously, is Israel. There's no reason for Turkey to blast Damascus. There's no reason for Russia or anyone to blast Damascus. There's no reason for no one to hit Damascus except for Israel. You understand? Do you see? So when the biblical event actually happens, when that biblical city gets wiped out, and it happens, we already know who's behind it. We already know where it comes from. Okay? And I want to remind everybody, if you forgot, and it seems everybody forgets this all the time, your Bible says that in the end, what happens? Israel gets its ass handed to it. Straight up. Now, you don't come down and do somebody that way if they've been being good. You do that when you've been bad. and you need your ass spanked. You've been out of line and just been being a straight up demon. So what does it say? What does your Bible say for people who don't read it? It says not one stone will be left unturned. The place will be rocked. I wouldn't get caught in there. It's going to get annihilated. It's written. It's written. So it's supposed to be full of God's chosen people right this moment. It's doing all these things. Yet, as far as I can tell, because they're murdering everybody around them, the Mossad, that's what's going to get them hit. Isn't it obvious? Isn't it obvious? That's the reason. It is the evil of evils. It's clear. It's written. It is written. Prophecy to come. Not one stone left unturned. It will get rocked. And you got to remember, the greatest earthquake this world has ever seen, that is to come, that has not happened yet. You're talking like over a 9-pointer, a massive one, is scheduled to take place. Where? In Israel, of all places. It's written. It's going to happen on the Mount of Olives. That's going to be some event. So the place is going to get rocked. Absolutely rocked. And that's when the Most High touches down. And then you have the separation of the wheat and the tare, and you have all this other wild stuff that's going to happen. But I just want to remind everybody, Israel's fitting to get smoked. It's written. Like, do you even know what you believe in? Some people. Do you even know what's in your Bible? Do you even know what it says? Do you even believe? Like, we're in crazy times. And like, if you're missing it, some of these other people are trying to usher in end-time events to have it their way. Because on the other side of the coin, in the Judaic side, like, they don't believe Jesus is the Messiah. And they believe they've got to usher, certain things got to happen. End times things got to happen before their Messiah can be ushered in. Nissan 1 plays key. But what do you know about Nissan 1? They've lied to you and got you on a Gregorian calendar system that doesn't match the ancient system. It's off. And they like it that way. It's to keep you off from everything, unbalanced from the true way. But we're in a time, a window of war and sacrifice, and of great change, prophecy, like all types of things. I put out separate videos on 2026. 2026 is a culmination of a bunch of different prophecies, predictions, all for this year, from different people, from going way back to more recent times. And not all of them just like, prophetic stuff, but like the fourth turning in itself. It was a book, very popular book, that talks about cycles. And again, cycles are real. And again, 2026 is a year that culminates in one of them cycles, to where a crisis, it's labeled basically as a crisis year. So you have these, I told you earlier, the pendulum swings back and forth. It's how this whole thing works. But they never taught you in school about polarity and about all these alchemical things they could have told you. They could have taught you in science class, but they didn't. They failed to. They failed to because they don't want to. They don't want you to understand polarities and that you can actually manipulate people and their energies and control these things, because it gives you power. It gives you power. And they taught you dumb down things in school, and they skipped those things. They could teach you how to home ec, run a microwave or something stupid, and throw you in gym for 30 more minutes, or this and that. They teach you dumb down basics like math stuff and a lie in history about some pilgrims and all this other crap and garbage. All books made by Ghislaine Maxwell's father and company, mind you, a bunch of pedos. And that's all the truth. Whole life's been a sham. True knowledge lies buried out there, everywhere, all around you. And I salute all of you that go looking and find it, even if you can't tell the world. May the Most High bless any of you that dig up a giant or something crazy, ancient tablet, something, and you can't tell nobody ever about it. I get it. Man, you better come to one of my conferences and be like, pull me to the side, be like, look, you're coming out to the place, you're going to see this thing. Same thing with the Bigfoot. Anybody's got a Bigfoot out there. I'm a believer in Bigfoot. And it's kind of crazy because I'm someone that, like, I'm going to see hard evidence of, like, everything. But, like, the Bigfoot is, like, one thing that, like, I know Sasquatch is out there. I know that, like, skunk apes and all these things, they're out there. And I know because of my own interactions, there's something living out in these mountains that's not human. I know it. I know it. And it's let me know it's there. I've heard it. I've heard the calls. I've heard the knocks. I've seen trees bent in huge I've seen crazy stuff, like out in the middle of nowhere, and searching for properties. That's when the craziest event ever happened. Appalachian mountaintops of around Kentucky. And I had 2 people with me that witnessed it. And it's crazy because it was like territory marked. It was like something telling you, like, I don't know. Because we walked up, we did a big circle and came up through and turned around and looked back and we seen it all. And we're hearing these knocks and was just blown away that these trees were in a huge X. And then we walked down and lo and behold, the other one was a tree that was like snapped off but flipped upside down and it was in a crazy position. All of it. It was like something did it. Something did it. And it's one of the stories like, man, you better have somebody around like seen it with you to like tell the story. But I had 2 people with me. My wife, my good friend. They can attest to it. And being out here, I've heard the knocks. And I've just encountered some crazy stuff. But I think that when it comes to something like that, it's more intelligent, has more of a sixth sense operation than what you're even told. Thinking how it operates more, has more telepathic abilities. What you would think, almost just like an extraterrestrial or anything else. It could be the missing link. We always look back at there's that image of there's an alien and a monkey, and then they're holding a baby human. Like, what would you get if you mixed an alien and a monkey? And it's a good question because you would get something almost just like us, right? But what if it wasn't a monkey that they mixed with? What if it was, and a more advanced hominid? Someone say Neanderthal. It always goes back to Neanderthal because it's not in bacon or it's all anyone can remember from the history books, right? What if it was is upright bipedal intelligent species known as Bigfoot, Sasquatch? That's more intelligent than an ape, a gorilla. And they're pretty damn smart themselves, monkeys and all that stuff. But the Sasquatch, Bigfoot, obviously seems to be on a different level of intelligence. If you've got anything on Sasquatch, let me know. If you've got any stories, line them up. Because I'm looking into a call-in line type thing here, like we used to do. But what I used to do for the call-in thing, I think we were on Zoom at the time. Like, I don't use that service no more, so I have to figure out apparatus for the call-in for the show. But I'm looking to try to get that back on. It's always good to get some feedback. people call into the show, give us a shout out. We do that. I'd like to get back to doing that because I think it's important just to get the stories from the people out there, what's going on. So I'm going to finish up here with Iran. Saved it here for last. It's kind of obvious. We're back at war. I don't see this dying down soon. I see this being long and drawn out. And it's going to devastate everything. And Trump is doing everything he can to quell everything here. I told you earlier, he's putting a Band-Aid on everything, rigging the prices. But that's only going to last so long. Eventually, everything's going to capitulate. That's how it works. They know this. But they want capitulation. Why? Because once they get that, they can initiate full reset. They can swoop in the end with a new plan. And that's what's coming. I've warned you this whole time, Mar-a-Lago Accord, all this. The Warsh is in there. They didn't waste no time. It's all tied in together. We knew that this Iran thing, Hormuz, was the catalyst to the global reset. Because look what it's doing. Just take a step back. Look around the world. It's affecting every country. People are duking it out for groceries and gas. Like, it's affecting all these different places. And it's just not here because he's put a Band-Aid on it. He's hiding it. Dude, that's criminal. It's the con artist of the century right here. And look, I'm peeling it back and I'm telling you what you're not going to hear in the evening news or anywhere else. The obvious here. Maybe they haven't figured it out. Maybe they ain't got the nerve to tell you. Whatever. But like, look, dude, they're rigging it. Everything is set up. Take a step back and look. They're rigging the prices, holding them into position. Why is he all of a sudden doing this across the board? Because I just showed you earlier. Russia squeezing diesel, prices are running through the freaking roof. And not only are they running through the roof, it's not to be found. When it's not to be found, the word rationing is the first thing that pops up. But guess what? You can't ration what's not there. Dude, we sat here and we've warned this whole time. Everyone else has been laxed, rolling around, laxed. I'll chill like, oh, you're full of shit. Sky's falling again. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. We'll talk all the crap, but just wait. Just wait. Just wait. Again, people that I don't know, wouldn't look the other way and stop paying attention, man. That's when the Mack truck's going to come. So Trump's back to saying they're trying to assassinate him, so that you know. They pulled a maneuver tonight that is highly suspect, that you should probably pay attention to. We were just gifted a brand new Air Force One, and they came from Qatar. And Qatar is kind of a wish-washy country out there. Well, in terms of Israel. But, so is Turkey, right? In terms of Israel. But Trump's trying to play buddy with everybody. Well, they gifted Trump a brand new Air Force One. And I'm like, hold on. Who does that? And like, you're telling me you trust this foreign government to build you a freaking plane gifted to you? Like, I wouldn't fly in it. I wouldn't. Would you? If so, I got some oceanfront property in Oklahoma to sell you. Okay? Look. Dude, this is bad. He sent this aircraft out of nowhere tonight. He was scheduled to fly in it. He sent it off to Europe and hopped on the old Air Force One. He was like, no, we're going with something we trust. And everyone's like, why? What are you doing? And there was heightened alert. Israel had to heightened alerts, all this other stuff. It was almost like something was going on. And he was like, oh, we're just going to send it to the UK so everybody can like tour it and have a look inside of it and this and that. And people are like, well, dude, that makes no sense. That makes no sense. And now he's saying he's being told to keep the windows, the window shades shut on Air Force One. Like someone's going to see him somewhere, somehow, and be able to snipe him. First off, why are those windows not bulletproof? How could you even dare say that? That tells me the fuselage isn't even bulletproof or something. Like, what are you scared of then? Like, you should not be afraid of bullets, the regular gunfire in this situation. Like, I don't know, man. This is, they're really picking up the talk about an assassination. And I'm like, man, you've played this card before, man, but look, I don't know what they're about to do, but they could very well pull off a massive event here. Imagine if they shut the lights off here, anything, and they blamed Iran. They could bomb them to smithereens and no one would say a word because we would be in the dark. You can't do a whole lot of bitching when you as a people are in the dark. So just remember, they got that card in their back pocket to play all the time. If we ever get too out of hand and start bitching about too much, they can just put us in the dark. But I'm going to be honest, we're pretty docile right now. This country is, and we're not doing much. We're not. We're just sitting there docile, quiet, and there's not a whole lot happening. And they're going to keep on doing what they do then. So certain cards don't get played if they don't have to be. You know, and will be played if they need to be, you see. So Trump says the ceasefire's over. He says he won't give any warning, but I'm going to tell you right, they're bombing them as I speak. They're bombing them to like oblivion on the coast, pounding all kinds of different sites. This is going to continue. They could turn around on one morning and be like, oh, there's going to be peace talks, blah, blah. Are you going to buy that after like the 100th time? Like, give me a break. They kind of gave away their hand here, saying they're going to go after Carter Island. He's ready to hit power plants, desalination plants. He's ready to hammer the place. And he's trying to play this whole thing off like, oh, it's not a war. It's a denuclearization of Iran. And
denuclearization of Iran, because that's what the war is. It's not a war. It's really the denuclearization of Iran. And we'll have a meeting and we'll talk about just that. Just because my whole thing is not about regime change. It's not about, although I think it's regime change when you denuclearization.
Although I think it's regime change. He's such a lying piece of, you could tell whoever the last MACA stragglers always are that come strolling in. They're like, oh, you said something about Trump that was bad. You got TDS. Like anybody you see that even uses that term, they're badly damaged, and you already know their IQ level. It's because this is a big IQ test again in the end. Some of this is pretty obvious, and if you didn't wake up when they were protecting pedos, you just ignored all that. I don't know what to tell you. And if you support that, you can just get out of here. I don't want to see you. I say it all the time. There's nobody else around that tells people to get out more than me. Because I don't want the junk. I don't want your garbage around here. I don't want you, if you support pedos, I don't even want you around me. I don't want your mentality. I don't want to have conversations with you. I don't like nothing. You support pedos. Where I come from, I just let your imagination run wild. Crazy things happen. We don't just sit there and talk people that support pedos. Wild things happen. Let me say that. But you want to roll with people like that, then wild things would happen to you.
Is the ceasefire over? Is the ceasefire done? Is the MOU dead?
It's a very interesting question. To me, I think it's over. I don't want to deal with them anymore. They're scum. You know what scum is? They're scum. They're sick people. They're led by sick people. and they're vicious, violent people. And if they had a nuclear weapon, they'd use it. As far as I'm concerned, it's over. I'll speak to our negotiators. They want to negotiate. They're good people. Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner. But they have to come back to me.
Garbage.
As far as I'm concerned, it's just a waste of time dealing with them. They're liars. We make a deal. And if I make a deal with him, we have a deal. And he goes out, he talks. We make a deal. Everyone's agreed. No nuclear weapon. We make a deal. They go outside, talk to the press. They say, we never even talked about it. There's something wrong with them. They're cuckoo. As far as I'm concerned, it's over.
Dude, did you hear the way he said that in the end? Did you hear the way he said in the end? As far as I'm concerned, it is over. Look, and Rut's just sitting there with a shitty grin on his face, sipping his water with his legs crossed like a... by my tongue. Dude, they're pounding them. They're gonna... This is it. Like, you don't even understand. He just said they're scum. Like, there's no... You just seen his true colors come out right there. Like, it's done. It's done. Like, it's on. He doesn't care about all the beautiful Iranian children and innocent people in the country. He just doesn't care. He equates their leadership to being completely nuts and cuckoo. He just gave you the example. That they'll walk outside and they'll say, oh, no. Then why would you even want to talk again? Why would you even announce that you're talking again? They know that some of us out here see through this at this point, and the talking isn't working. So they're going back to bombing. I kind of figured this was going to happen. I was like, well, he ain't got the nerve to strike Khamenei's funeral. He ain't gonna do it. Like, there's no way. There was too many people from around the world, high level people that were descending upon the area to strike it. And it just, they then given a window. It was 4th of July. The whole thing was set up. Like, but I just told myself, like, man, right after this is done, it's back to war. Here we are, man. Was it no time at all? And if you missed it, Iran struck 3 different tankers or vessels inside of Hormuz in the past 24 hours. That was this morning. It's 36 hours, I'd say. They're already striking them. All the mines that were supposed to get swept out of there, guess what? It's not happening. France and all them said, well, if it's war, that's delayed. France and them were tasked with doing that, but they're not doing it if it's war. So now we've got a huge armada that's rolled back up in there. Trump just said earlier, we're going to probably lay back down the blockade, and we're pounding them. He even said we're probably going to take over Clark Island. You have huge operations that are about to go down here. Huge. Dude, this is not ending. I would get ready. Do you understand me? I would get ready. I would go get a little extra something, stock up on a little something here. I'd get a plan. This ain't like all the other times we've warned about, in the future something can happen. Like, something is happening. And it's world war, and it's huge. And major shipping things have been cut off, and the crowd is sleeping on it. And your president is rigging the prices like an illusion around all the masses. Dude, we have the eyes to see. So take advantage of this window. You better take advantage of. It won't last long, because at some point, just like on COVID, when the sheep actually it clicked, like, oh, and they panicked and they ran out to buy all the toilet paper, that another moment like that's coming, okay, but in a different way. And it's going to be for all these things that are not there no more. Now, I'm not going to say eggs are just going to dry up, but they rate the price on it. And it's to stop this whole thing. They just did meat. Just told you meat, gas. These are the staples. The staple things they went after first of society. Okay, and it's going to fan out, I'm telling you, from there. Until it just don't work no more. Telling you, because the egg places can only take so much of a loss. They were even ordered, commanded by the commander in chief, that They had to agree. They were accused by the government for doing price fixing and all this. And they gave the government a perfect opportunity to come in and demand all this stuff from it. And what it did is it told them they were going to give up all these eggs to all these food pantries, and they were going to set their prices at a certain price. So it gave the government exactly what they wanted, a chance to set a price on them because of the whole thing, right? To put it in stone. There really was no excuse in terms of the whole meat thing. He just now came out of nowhere with that. Okay, so the gas thing, I told you before, all the gas stations that were paying $3 a gallon when we were at $3.50 are now being told you got to sell at $2.50. They're gonna. What do you think is gonna happen? By default, you cannot continue business operations without going in the hole. You closed down shop. You destroyed the place. That's everything he does. Every little move was to destroy this place, to finish it off. I'm telling you, it's so that he can get credit for the phoenix rising from the ashes. The reset. All of this. It's all part of the plan. He's on camera saying this, like all the way in the beginning, right when he got elected. He said all this, that he was sent in to do all this. And if you would have just seen and remembered all those things, like he already set the whole plan. And I've never forgot. When I learned about the Mar-a-Lago court, not everything else, just everything, we're there now. We're in the window we've warned about. We're there. We're here in July 2026. We're in it. We're in it. And the war is ramping up. Here we go. The new strikes on Iran significantly stronger than the other ones. Dude, we were exchanging hypersonics, and Iran wasted all types of stuff in Kuwait and Bahrain, so much so that they annihilated our bases. Our government lied to us. They did not show us the damage done until way later. They couldn't hide it. Independent satellite people were releasing images showing that we took hits, licks. We have not gone back. We did not go back. We're not back. We pulled back out of the area. Those places have been hit. And there's no sense, I guess, in a frontline battle like this to replenish, because they're going to get hit again. Before you can even get it built again, they're just going to hit it again. And look, we can't stop the hypersonics. That's the messed up thing here. Old Israel and all the mighty power that they talk about, and they're all freaking Iron Dome and all that. They could not stop hypersonics. They took a couple of them to the face. And when they did, they were like, hold up. That's why the war stopped last time. They sent them into Iran. And then old Iron Dome couldn't handle nothing. Our Patriot missile systems, nothing. Couldn't stop neither. Just like in Ukraine. They're getting smoked. Patriot missile systems getting hammered by hypersonics from Russia. So hypersonics are king. The closest thing they got to them right now are some maybe laser rail guns, which we'll see. The only real laser they're going to be able to use is a real laser. And they're going to have to hit it in the sky like a torch, like way out there. And if you miss anything in the path behind it, any plane, any satellite, anything to the edge of space, anything that thing touches, it can fry. That's the ball game we're in right now. And that's dangerous. That's super dangerous. Any flight, anything. These guys start popping off these. That's the only type of laser, a real type of war laser. You gotta get out right in front of the thing and let it kind of fly right into the laser beam, and they got a small window to do that. Because hypersonics will go at high altitude, okay? And there's different kinds, but the ones that they've been using, they'll go all the way up to subspace, and they come down with thunderous speed. They use the falling from space, basically, to just maximize their speed. That's why they come down with such force. They look like liquid, like metal, like lightning. You've ever seen any real hits with the hypersonics, they come in like lightning, and even make the craziest sounds. It's not conventional missiles by far. Then you've got drones flying in from everywhere. the drones are just cruising in. They sit there and watch them. You know, they're moving in like 20, 30, 40, 50 mile an hour. You could shoot them down out of the sky if you wanted, but here's all these clips in Russia and Ukraine, all these other places, these drones flying in and just smacking these high-rise buildings. It's like, why don't you idiots get out? Some potato gun launchers, some freaking guns, some something, and start trying to down them. But some of these countries don't have weapons. Then you realize, oh, well, you don't have a gun to shoot it down. Like, you're not allowed to have guns there. Like, where it all starts biting you in the ass. So we're in war, man. This isn't going anywhere anytime soon but war. It's going to get worse by the day. NATO chief Rutte, he says they're absolutely necessary, but when you ask Americans, they don't believe NATO would ever have our back if we were attacked. I'm going to tell you, when we're attacked, the next hit will be a staged one, and it will be mysterious. Cyber attack, even EMP at first. And like, there won't be no one to specifically strike, maybe. You know, if they're, because you can't just go launching nukes on everyone because we got EMP'd. You know, they have to know specifically, oh, that was an EMP from a North Korean satellite? Well, then we're nuking North Korea. And I've always said that because that's what I think is going to happen. And I think that North Korea, they leave Rocket Man there because he's preserved for a moment in time. They're going to take a lick, a nuke, a hit for the history books, a strike in return from our military for putting our lights out. And they've put multiple satellites up in the sky called Shining Star satellites, North Korea has, that were said to be EMPs. Our own government had an EMP commission, and they said, those are EMPs. And then Obama shut them down. That's how far back this goes. I've been tracking this stuff forever, dude. And I don't forget. Okay? Shining Star, why would you name any satellite Shining? Because if it blows up, it will obviously shut the lights off across the entire country. It will be as dark as it's ever been in history. And everyone would see one thing, a shining object in the sky at 30,000 feet. And it will look like a shining star, a second moon, and another sun. And we will have just got EMP'd. Hell of a name to give it, but that's exactly what it would be. There's even prophecy of the Korean Peninsula seeing a mushroom cloud. I wonder why that is. Wonder why that all is. There was even an old plan hatched that the EMP America through North Korea, backed by China and Russia. And this is an old plan. It's already been known, talked about, thrown out there, talked to about 10 years ago. But it could be used because it's never happened. And who's the enemy on the world stage right now? Russia, China. And of course, who would they sacrifice right now? Why are they even keeping around? You're worried about nuclear dust in Iran right now, but Kim Jong-un has just popped off 12 freaking missiles this week. You know he's got nukes. You don't even care. Why is that? Can somebody riddle me that? Can somebody riddle me that? Because the world's a stage. And I'm telling you, they're reserving him for a moment. Just remember, most Americans don't believe no one's going to come to the rescue. And I don't forget 9/11. 30 years? Like we're coming up on, it's been over a quarter century, mark. It's a long time, man. This newer generation doesn't have this in the memory bank. I was telling one of my friends this when we were talking. I'm like, look, this is the scary part about it. These 30-somethings running around out there and younger, they don't have 9/11 in their memory bank like we do. Where were you at that day? At work or school, wherever you were, you remember. I remember I was at work. I remember where I was at specifically. And most people can't. remember that they can, if you were old enough, right? But like, if you weren't old enough, you were just a small kid or not even born yet at that point, dude, a quarter of a century has gone by. It's time for them to like this whole new generation that doesn't even remember 9/11 or anything about it. They weren't affected by it. They have theirs about to hit them. Now do you see? It's about to happen. Man, we could Paul Revere to the streets and not many would listen. Some things I guess are just meant to be. Oh, and Greenland back on schedule. I'm not gonna play the clips, can get ready to shut it down here. And I want you to see this. I've said this many times before. I said something in the last video I put out about this, but Trump's inner circle is telling everybody they've got the disclosure speech ready to go. So this isn't coming from just outsiders now. This is his inner circle, okay, saying this, that he is about to drop an imminent speech. You know, imminent means like here, anytime, imminent. And it will explain all about non-human life, and it will make it all make sense. That is what they're saying. So get ready. You talk about a distraction of distractions that definitely have left Epstein in the rear view. You want to distract everyone from this war that's going on, give them a bunch of fake prices, and then drop UFO disclosure on them. That might do the trick. So yeah, this is one to watch. It's going to be interesting because that means he's going to speak on the life of it. And this resonated a lot with today, July 8th, because that's when they came out with all the stuff, I guess, on Roswell, officially and this and that. But there were all these people they mentioned in this link about Mark Christopher Lee, all these other people. Everyone's mentioned that he has this speech he's about to give. And remember, I told you and I showed you. Laura Trump said it. She said in an interview. She says, yeah, like he has a speech. She said it out of her own mouth. She said he has a speech he's ready to give. And I told you then, they are dropping the seeds. That was before disclosure dropped Spielberg, which I heard was horrible. And on that note, what was the deal with that? What was the whole thing? Like they promised it was going to shatter people's religious beliefs and this and that. It did do nothing. Did do nothing like they were trying to fearmonger. Going to make them question their belief in Jesus and make them people like it was lame and lacked substance, lacked like a plot, like left you hanging, like what? I just heard it sucked flat out over and over, so much so that I didn't even take the time to go watch it. I figure if there was something major to be found in it, Casey would have found it or something. Those guys that go and do that work, dive into the movies, I would have seen something shared on that, but I didn't see none. It dropped the ball on that. But that was all just part of the planting the seeds, you ask me. Trump is got to give the big dog. He's not going to let no one else steal that moment. This guy's all about accolades and awards in the moment. He'll take this all day. He wants it all. So I expect at some point, probably when things get really bad out there from some degree, they'll play this card. It's primed. But just, again, it's back in the talk. His upper inner circle, it's making the rounds. They're talking about an imminent speech to be given. So look, they've done everything now. They went before Congress. They've dropped all these videos. They've dropped the first tranche, the second tranche. I don't know what they call them that. Third tranche. They dropped tranche. Nobody cares. They dropped the disclosure documentary. Now they've dropped the disclosure movie. Nobody cares about none of it. They're like, show us the fucking alien, dude. And until they do that, it's just garbage. Until they present the entity sitting there blinking on stage next to Trump, rubbing his leg, whatever the fat asses are doing. I'm just kidding. They're probably androgynous as it is. Well, I'm gonna say that I know that the grays are. They're made. A lot of these other entities, and you don't realize this, they are made to where they can't sexually reproduce. Even certain angels are made that way. It's not just like the grays. Certain high-ranking angels are not even given, as it's written, ways to reproduce. And it stops from. You're talking like the highest of some of the angels, ranks of angels. It's because they're there. They've been made. They're there. They've never died. They're still there, and they're special in that sense. You got what? You got 70, 80 years if you're a common person to live in this life, it seems. Got some money, maybe you live 80, 90, you live healthy, and you are lucky. Even if you're a poor slave, maybe you'll make it in the 90s. Maybe, right? But after 100, you don't see a whole lot of it. You see some people out there, they hit $120 and there's some crazy stories, but all in all, I'm talking your average person. They're not living long. A lot of the lifespans have been depleted. Even, they're going in reverse in countries. Even our own. They said we got to reverse it or we're going to end up like China at some point. They're never going to fix that. I'm here to tell you, towns that are seeing declines right now will probably continue to see it and see it from here on out. I don't see any innovation for humans coming. What's crazy is like you're about to see the death of everything. When you write off humans, like you're writing off everything that kept everything alive. Yeah, you can make, and think about this. You can fill every warehouse with a robot. All these jobs with robots. But guess what? They're robots to do what? They're to make things, right? They're to make cars. They're to make all the products that what? That people consume. When people have no money to consume those products, then guess what? The whole thing don't work no more. It breaks down. It's broke. Okay? What's the sense in having robots even make anything anymore? Seriously. Why? What's the next step after robots? If you deplete humans and take them out of the equation, the whole thing falls apart. You've got to see your value in this and know it. And know it. All right? And people need to do this in mass because, again, warehouse after warehouse replaced with a robot. Okay? All these people with no jobs, no money. All right, what is the warehouse making? Well, this one's printing. It's printing out for what? Stuff that has to be sold. It doesn't matter how you cut it. They're all making products that have to be sold, like little elves in Santa's workshop. They're all making products that have to be kicked out, but there has to be humans to consume them. There's not robots on the other end buying. See, that part of the equation they have not solved, and they never will. The closest they can come to it is Elon says, we'll just give all the other humans that are left, the asterisks. Give them UBI, free money, just like monopoly money. And as he said, money's going to become pointless. The world's richest man has admitted money will be worthless at some point in the system where they're taking it. Because everything will be there, given. This is why they told you in the beginning, like, you'll own nothing and you'll like it. They said it with arrogance because it will be like the Fifth Element world. Like, you won't need a car because all you got to do is like hit a button on your phone and a vehicle that flies, that floats, will show up at your door and take you to your destination and drop you off. And when you're there and you're ready to go, one will pick you up and take you right back and drop you off at the house, wherever you need to go. And everything that you need is going to be within 15 minutes anyway. Just how they want it. We're there. We are there. This stretch here in 2030 is so critical and they know it. Dude, so many key events are in motion here and about to pop off. And to reset this the way they want. I've said a million times, the people need a plan. We the people plan to replace the system, but they just don't have it. The people are just lackadaisical. They're sitting around. So the government, they're not going to miss an opportunity. As soon as this whole thing comes crashing down, they're going to replace it with a new system. Get ready. That's what this whole thing's been about. And we're just this far away, so close to it happening. Unfortunately, I don't want it to happen. So I'll take every day that it doesn't. But like, this isn't going to go on forever without it happening. Trump's only got so much time on the clock, and the days are flying by. They sure are. Halfway through 2026, y'all. Before you know it, we'll be at the end of the year, into 2027. And when you're in 2027, the very next year is an election year again. And, dude, the cycle never ends. So, all right, man. Made it a long one here tonight. Tried to cover as much as possible. I think I'll end it there on that note. I want to thank everyone for joining. Again, as always. And yeah, I think I'm just going to shut up from there. We're calling 20 to 11 here. Been a long one tonight, but hey, sometimes got to get it in. I don't know about the schedule of the stream here going forward. I've been thinking about going back to 9, this and that. Still don't know, but I do know that Friday will be at 8, and I hope to see you guys then. And just be safe out there. Much love, pure bloods. Stay safe. Head on a swivel. And I thank you guys again. As I always say, if the Lord doesn't return in the coming days, I'll see you next time for some Underground World News Live. Much love. God bless.